Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to learn about ancient Egypt. Hey friends, do you know anything about ancient Egypt? Egypt is a country in northeastern Africa. Most of Egypt is made up of a desert. Egypt's economy was based on farming mostly. How did geography affect Egypt's civilization? Well, the Nile River. It provided food and water. It was good for transportation and trade also. Flooding deposited silt which made the soil very fertile. River provided water for irrigation and farming. Ancient Egypt developed a calendar based on flooding actually. So that then it can plant its crops on the perfect time. But if it overflowed, it could kill people, destroy homes and crops. That's bad, right? And the deserts. It provided protection from invaders because it's hard to cross. Few people could live in the desert, which kept the population near the river. And it also isolated it from the rest of the world, though. The Delta. A marshy area of land with many small waterways. And it also provided papyrus, which was made to use Egyptian paper. The cataracts, a waterfall. There were several along the river Nile, which made it difficult to travel though. Now presenting the great Pharaoh. A pharaoh is an Egyptian ruler who was worshipped as a god and was referred to as a god king. Pharaohs ruled everything in the kingdom. Pharaohs were believed to be related to the Amun-Ra, the sun god. How did the Egyptians adapt to and modify their environments to meet the basic needs of food, clothing, and shelter? Food. They fished from the Nile River. They learned to irrigate so that they can farm. See, you can see this picture of an irrigation canal. They would store grain and meat in case of a drought or famine. Drought and famine are kind of the same meaning. Okay? And in this picture, you can see a shadow. How did the Egyptians adapt to modify the environment and meet basic needs of food, clothing, and shelter? The clothing. They wore light clothes made from linen. You can see there's a picture of a cloth from ancient Egypt probably, and there's a picture of linen too. Linen is made from the flax plant, which is grown along the river Nile in the delta section. They wove flax into linen, so they're kind of like weavers. Now the shelter. They made mud bricks by mixing straw and baking them in the sun. Rich people had houses made of stone, and papyrus reeds were used to make the roofs. So these ones was mainly mud houses, which was actually useful because it kept the Egyptians nice and cool in the hot climate. Here's a question for you to answer. Can you fill in this pyramid? Pause the video now to answer. Okay, time's up. Here's the answers. Daily life of men and women. Men. Quality of life depended on jobs. Some had more work to do than others. They could move between classes. They participated in warfare and they could hold any position in the social pyramid. Women could inherit land and do business, could be scribes or merchants, were not taught to read or write, most of them. They could move between classes if they were taught, though. There were a few pharaohs that were female, even like Hatshepsut and Cleopatra. Religion, beliefs. They were polytheistic, believed in many gods. Ra, the sun god, was the most important god. They believed that pharaohs were living gods. Buildings. Pyramids were built for the pharaoh who were worshipped like gods. Underground tombs were later built so that valuables would not be stolen. Temples were built where people could worship the gods. And pyramids are most Egypt's famous attraction. Rituals. They mummified the dead because of their belief in the afterlife. They buried pharaohs with their valuables near them so that they could enjoy them in the afterlife. But before, they also buried living soldiers. But then, after a few thousand years, they buried fake soldiers, luckily. Religion, the relationship to government. Pharaohs believed to be god kings. They built temples, performed religious rituals, and were believed to be a direct link to the gods. They believed in the divine kingship, that kings are chosen by God, and that the right to rule was passed from father to son. The Egyptian empire declines, though. The Egyptian was an empire, but it handsome declines, and you can see a picture here of Ramesses riding his horse. War. People were greedy and wanted more land and power, which led to many battles. And many lives were lost too. They died, lots of people. The Kushites invaded and conquered all of Egypt. All! Poor leaderships. Rulers were infected. They maybe had a sickness like Tutankhamun, but still didn't know that if Tutankhamun was actually sick, though. The government was weakened. The government, less power, some rebellions are coming. Important words. From geography, the important words are Nile River, desert, and cataracts. Religion, important words are polytheism, Ra, and priests. Achievements. Pyramids, hieroglyphics, papyrus paper is the most important. Political. Hatshepsut, Khufu, Menes are important pharaohs. Economic. Farming, traded, wheat, and scribes are important for economical things in ancient Egypt. Social, that means the people, pharaohs, merchants, and slaves. Civilization, a group of people living together who have an organized system of government, education, religion, and a social structure. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and like to my YouTube channel too. And I hope this will help you for your future studies in history. And also may help you do studying for your history also. But now, bye bye.